Welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're thrilled that you're joining us to review the Business Associate Agreement and hear from Dr. Day from Platinum Optometric Solutions on how he's created a culture of compliance. If there's any questions during the presentation, go ahead and let us know by submitting the question in the chat window or just put your email address in there and we'll follow up with you after the presentation. All right, let's get started. So, real quick, I'm Travis Tome, the CEO of Fuse Networks. At Fuse, we understand HIPAA compliance can be complicated, but we believe if we take the time to understand people, process, and technology, we can turn your IT into a compliance asset. Since 2009, we've been supporting businesses like yours, ensuring things run smoothly while staying compliant. We understand that policy and procedure that need to be in place. In fact, we're audited internally each year by the compliancy group. Believe me, managing compliance is no easy task. So let's get into why we chose the BAA for this webinar. We often meet with doctors and office managers, and there seems to be a misconception on the details surrounding business associate agreements. In most cases, they have them in the compliance folder, but they don't review them on an annual schedule, or they're not aware that their vendors should be on a business associate agreement. We ask the questions and we hear standard responses of, oh yeah, we have them, or I think they're in the binder with the other HIPAA stuff. The frequency typically is not on an annual schedule that they're reviewing these, and the process to select a vendor, they're not incorporating BAA with that process. So hearing that, we thought it was important to educate doctors and their staff on the fundamental items that make up the business associate agreement so that we can help them understand the importance of what it means to have a compliant culture and really what implications it has on their business. So let's get started. First, let's talk about the wall of shame. HIPAA enforcement's on the rise. Think of it like being audited by the IRS. Almost everybody knows somebody that's been audited and think it's never going to happen to me. Well, HIPAA's kind of like that. If you don't prepare for it and you're not following a compliance plan, it's going to cost you. To illustrate this, let's discuss two examples. First, Oregon Health and Science University were fined $2.7 million for using Google Cloud services without getting a business associated agreement. Even though it was a compliant platform, they still need to get a BAA on file, and this was one of several vulnerabilities discovered that added to the cost of their fine. Next, North Memorial Healthcare of Minnesota was fined $1.5 million when one of their business associates had his laptop stolen. Since the laptop was not encrypted, the patient information was easily accessible, and they had access to that ePHI. If that's not bad enough, they could have avoided some of the liability by vetting this business associate and asking if they encrypted their workstations. While both of these incidents also involved other breaches and compliance gaps, the lack of BAA is noted in the resolution agreements as part of the conduct that resulted in their fines. All right, getting right to it, let's talk about the BAA. What does it mean to you? What should be in it? And who do you need to get one from? These are all topics we'll be covering in the next few minutes. So first, let's understand what a business associate agreement is. A BAA is essentially a contract with your vendors that outlines the responsibilities as it relates to your ePHI. It's designed to help mitigate your risk by making the vendors aware of your compliance obligations. By signing it, they're in turn agreeing to protect your ePHI. It's also important to keep in mind some of the vendors may not even know if there's ePHI, right? For example, cloud services such as Google, Office 365, they have publicly available BAAs. However, you need to execute them and let them know that, hey, you have patient information within your cloud services, so you have a responsibility to protect that data. Other examples would be, let's see, IT service providers, business consultants. If they have access to your systems, they should be have a business associate agreement in place that outlines what you expect of them. So in summary, having a business associate sign a BAA helps reinforce a culture of compliance between you and your vendors. Everybody knows what's expected of them. They know how they need to handle incidents and what the consequences are if they don't safeguard your patient information. So next, let's talk about the risk if you don't have a business associate agreement. Prior to 2009, the HITECH Act stated that any fine assessed would be the responsibility of the doctor or the clinic. They later changed those rules to have HHS actually assess fines on the business associate themselves when there were issues with security or following procedure or policy that was defined by HIPAA rule. So when you look at that, it's important to make sure every vendor has a business associate agreement in place. If you don't, it goes back to that default rule prior to 2009 where the doctor is going to be responsible for all those fines. Even with a BAA, you're still going to be responsible for breaches caused by your business associate. They may be assessed fines as well, but this goes beyond the compliance fines and will likely include attorney fees, investigation costs, cost of notification, damage to your reputation, cost of credit monitoring, and I think most important, loss of business, right? Your patients aren't going to want to come back if they don't think that you're safeguarding their data and protecting their information. Now let's discuss what should be in a business associate agreement. First, the agreement should state that the business associate must comply with HIPAA security rule. To specify any obligations under the privacy rule, tell them how to report any breaches or unsecured EPHI, and it should let them know that if they have any subcontractors, they also need to execute a BAA with them. The business associate needs to know that they're accountable to HHS for your HIPAA compliance. So when is a BAA required? To help make this decision when you're selecting other vendors or consultants or business partners, we've put together a decision chart for you. This can be found at fuseNetworks.com/BAA 2019. This is going to help you when you look at, like I said, look at that vendor, and it outlines the questions that you need to ask yourself and classify what access they have. So we'll run through this real quick. First, is your business partner's PHI access related to patient treatment or health insurance payments, or is a partner government agency, i.e. Medicare, Medicaid, HHS? If the answer is no, you need to ask, does your business partner collect, use, maintain, store, possess, transmit, create, or alter PHI on your behalf? If the answer is yes, you need to ask, does your business partner only transmit PHI data without access to it and only transient storage of it? So what that means is, do they have physical access, but it's either encrypted or secured, and it's, over a phone call, over the internet that's secure, or mail services. So you're mailing some patient records to somebody. If that's a no, then absolutely need a business associated agreement. A few common vendors that qualify for that are legal, accounting, IT support services, practice management software, billing and claim processors, cloud services. So if you have hosted servers in the cloud, if you're using Office 365 for collaboration tools or just even email, and then even backup. So if you're backing up and replicating your local copy of your data to the cloud, that needs to be covered by a business associate agreement, or if your IT company is doing that, they need to have that subcontractor also execute a business associate agreement so they know what the responsibility is. Again, go check out our decision chart. It's fusenetworks.com/BAA 2019. Reviewing your business associate agreement. It's our assumption that Everybody listening to this webinar has some sort of business associated agreement in place today. However, if it's new to you or you'd like a sample copy, you can download our BAA template at fusenetworks.com/BAA. BAA templates are a great start. They may need to be tailored to specify privacy obligations specific to your clinic. If you use a template, always have your legal counsel review this and make sure that it aligns to your business for what you're doing with different business associates. If you already have a business associate agreement in place, we suggest you look at each of those and perform the following tasks. Create a list of all the vendors and determine whether PHI is involved. Determine whether a BAA is required for each vendor. Again, you can use our decision chart. Just download that at fusenetworks.com, BAA 2019. Review the business associate agreements you have on file. Ensure they include all the required elements. Large organizations, Microsoft, Google, HP, Dell, they may already have a published BAA. It assesses whether it contains the necessary elements for your business relationship. So you'll want to look at those and review those, download them from online, and then go through them and make sure they align with your requirements in your business associates agreement. If a BAA is required and a vendor won't sign it, it's time to find a new vendor or create a different workflow. So in conclusion, executing a BAA with a vendor is essential to protecting your patient records and requires a mutual understanding of what's expected when it comes to HIPAA. As you review your business associate agreements, ensure they cover all the responsibility they have in safeguarding your EPHI. Document the vendors you have. Ensure you understand what access they have to your EPHI. Determine if they needed a business agreement and make sure to get them executed. Evaluate the methods they use to secure their access. Are they encrypted in their computers? Do they use complex passwords? What do they say when you bring up the content in your business associate agreement? Make sure they're doing what they say they're doing. Finally, ensure you review your BAAs each year, ensuring you have a formal understanding with them on what you expect. Keep in mind, this is the first of many steps to managing HIPAA compliance. Educating the rest of your team is important. Think about the implications if somebody else signs up with a new accountant, lawyer, cloud provider, and doesn't know what the requirements are. By doing this, you start to make a compliance-focused culture that puts your patients' security first. All right, now that we've learned all about business associate agreements, I'd like to introduce Dr. Dave from Platinum Optometric Solutions. I've had the pleasure of working with him over the last year, and I've grown to respect the values he instills at his clinic and his commitment to serving his patients. His team at East Main Vision Clinic is dedicated to creating a culture and promotes both patient and staff loyalty. Because of this, I thought it would be great to have him discuss how he's accomplished this. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, Travis. Thank you for inviting me today, and happy to talk about optometry and kind of all the different impacts. And again, I'm the CEO for Platinum Optometric Solutions and the doctor at East Main Vision Clinic. I've been a doctor for 30 years and a consultant for 3 years. And certainly every encounter we've had with different clients, we've really seen a lot of things and a lot of kind of deficits that we've helped different clients see. And one of the biggest things, and like Travis just mentioned, we've been working with Fuse for a year. And it started out when we first found a small kind of issue. We had one of his employees come in and talk to us, and kind of grew from there. And really the respect grew, and it was an amazing thing to kind of go through this last year to grow as our business. And today we're talking about the BAA, but it kind of transformed into a lot of things which really grew our business, which was, again, tremendous that we could start to then lean on a trusted source like Fuse, and I could then move towards consulting and, of course, being a doctor, which is a really busy endeavor. And we all know we're super busy with patients, but we should never be so busy that we're not going to take care of the business, because it won't take care of itself. But what a doctor can do is certainly hire Fuse or consider that, or just talk with them about letting them handle some of the day-to-day kind of protection aspects with IT and the BAA. So I really can't endorse any more highly Fuse and what they're doing and what they've done for our business, that we look forward to a great future. And, you know, the BAA is just one small part of it. That's one of the first things we looked at. And as we looked at it, you know, as a first kind of just blush, we looked at it and saw that it was maybe a simple thing, but, you know, Fuse really educated us to see that it really was a very important thing. And there's so many aspects that they needed to address so that we would never have to be at risk for breach or any kind of other problems. So thank you, Travis, for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. We do appreciate your endorsement, and it's a pleasure to serve you and your staff. Tell me about your mission. What spawned creating Platinum Optometrics?
Yeah, so like I said, I've been practiced as a practicing doctor for many years, and I've been thinking about it for several years of a better way to serve the optometric community. And I knew we had an amazing culture and a great group of people that, you know, when it comes down to it, we're here to serve and take care of our patient. And kind of our mini mission statement is to really serve the person in front of us, which is our patient. The person to our left and right is really our coworker. And that's what's grown over the years. Again, having a tremendous culture, wonderful people that really take ownership. Our team takes ownership in everything they do. And that just blends right into, again, you know, PHI and BAA and all of those different things on kind of protecting information. They take it serious. And our lead person for, again, the business associates agreement is Angie. And again, as a busy doctor, you need to hand that off to somebody that's going to take it serious and really kind of run with it. And she started with it and had been working on it, but was somewhat frustrated before we started to work with Fuse. We had kind of run up some roadblocks, and some people said, oh, it's not important, or you'll never get audited, or you'll never get a breach. But we've seen, you know, even in our town, in our city, that breaches have happened even down the street from me. So there's been a lot of instances where now we know that we need to be protected, and we are protected with Fuse. And Angie still works with Fuse directly on those compliance issues and the business associates agreement. And it's been a really nice relationship. And she's much more relaxed and at peace now with where we're at with running our clinic, because before it wasn't that the case. So it's really kind of enriched our culture now that we know that certain things are set. Fuse is going to handle those, and we can continue to grow the culture and continue to reach out again with Platinum Optometric Solutions on showing people our culture and just sharing that. That's, if we can do something that betters optometry, it's better for everybody. If we can raise the bar, that's really our mission.
So what is your ideal engagement? Clinics looking to grow, just starting up, or a doctor's looking to exit?
And really, we looked at that, and we talked again for months before we started Platinum Optometric Solutions. And we've worked with clients that have been in practice for a number of years and have a good practice. So they're good practitioners, good practice, good business, and ones that really see that they can take it to the next level. And, you know, to go from good to great, and that's what I tell clients, takes a lot of work and kind of blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, that if you want to move forward, it's got to be a commitment with everybody. So we work with, again, we would work with any client type thing, but it's really served well doctors that are in practice and really want to go to the next level, because we've broken it down where we can help each department in their practice really take it to the next level, because each partner, so to speak, with Platinum Optometric Solutions, there's a number of members on our team that joined Platinum as the partners, and they get to be the experts. And I'm happy letting them work with people that come in, and we've actually sent a number of the team out to work with ones that are close enough to work with clients and help them build their practice. And it's been really well received. And again, we're just building optometry, so it's fun. I love optometry. It's fun to come to work every day, and that's what it should be. You should do what you love, and again, the more I can share, the better. And it's been a great experience.
That's a great analogy. Good to great really resonates with me. As a business owner, I know that's what I'm looking for in a partner.
It's so true that, you know, running a business in today's climate is really so different than even 5 years ago. It's more complex, and the speed of change is really not going to stop. And, our partnering with Fuse was really to handle certain immediate issues, but really for the future, because then it's their responsibility to keep up on all the new requirements. And again, they've done an amazing job. So that's one thing I would share is, for today and for the future, that Fuse has been the one, and we've told all of our clients that we've worked with about Fuse that it just is a nice relationship. And that's, again, as you get further along in business, your goal should be put people in your circle that you trust and that you can then give them that responsibility, and you move forward with your gifts and your expertise. And that's worked great with Fuse.
Experience definitely goes a long way. Being able to work with consultants that have done this before and are able to save you time, money, and headaches definitely makes sense. Dr. Day, thanks for giving us an overview of Platinum Optometric Solutions.
Yeah, and just as a final note, optometrists, we're excellent at patient care. We've been trained so well. We do that, excellent for all of our patients. But what we don't do often enough is really run an efficient business, and a business that's protected. We think it will never happen to us, and it can. And, the final note, call to action, so to speak, would be, to consider Fuse, and also consider them just to come in and talk with you. They're very non-threatening people, easy to talk to, they're transparent, and just see, if it's something that is a fit for you, because it's been a fit for us. And again, I would just want to urge doctors that this is something so important to your practice that you don't want to wait too long, and you just have to make time for it in the front end, and you'll certainly thank yourself later.
Thanks, Dr. Day. I look forward to the opportunity to speak with some of your peers and work with them to help build their practice. And thanks again for providing your insights into Platinum Optometric Solutions. All right, that's all the time we have today. We hope you're able to take something away from our webinar. If you're looking to help with growing your business or creating a compliance culture, you can contact Vanessa at platinumoptometricsolutions.com. Don't forget to access your sample BAA and our BAA decision tree online. And if you're interested in talking about compliance or other IT services with Fuse, you can sign up at fusenetworks.com/free-consultation, or simply just email me at travistome@fusenetworks.com. Have a great day and stay proactive. Thanks.